This is TLC to go.
Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're about to unpack a topic that's, well, it's not just important, it's absolutely fundamental, especially if you're a faculty member in the health sciences.
Absolutely essential.
Today, we're diving deep into accessible learning experiences, and we're drawing some really powerful insights directly from the UTHSC Teaching and Learning Center.
Mm-hmm.
Our mission for you as faculty is to kind of cut through the noise,
Yeah.
extract the most impactful nuggets on why this matters so profoundly,
Right.
and how you can actually implement it in practical ways, and maybe where you can go to explore even more.
Yeah, some next steps.
Exactly.
So let's try and unpack this.
Mm-hmm.
When we talk about accessible learning, it might sound pretty straightforward, but what are we really getting at here?
Yeah.
It feels like it goes deeper than just ticking a box for compliance, doesn't it? It absolutely does. I mean, what's really fascinating is that accessible learning and course design, they fundamentally aim to dismantle avoidable barriers right from the very start.
Okay.
Think of it like this. Instead of designing a building and then maybe adding a ramp later as an afterthought,
Right, yeah.
you integrate universal access into the original blueprint. It means ensuring that all learners, and I mean across a whole spectrum of abilities, different languages, technologies, contexts, that they can all fully engage.
Fully participate.
Yeah, demonstrate their competence authentically and ultimately, thrive in their studies. It's about proactively building a system that just works for everyone, right from square one.
That building blueprint analogy, that really clarifies it. So for our listeners, the health sciences faculty, why is this concept of accessibility so uniquely vital in health sciences education specifically? What's the bigger picture?
Well, if we connect it to that bigger picture, accessibility in health sciences isn't just, a nice-to-have pedagogical practice. It's truly essential. Essential for professional formation, for clinical safety, and, ultimately for the quality of patient care.
Wow. Okay.
Think about our future clinicians, right?
Yeah.
They're going to interact with and provide care for an incredibly diverse patient population,
Mm-hmm.
many of whom have varying needs or abilities themselves. So learning within an accessible environment, it inherently shapes their professional identity. It teaches empathy, adaptability.
That makes sense.
It's also kind of an anticipatory practice.
Okay.
By designing for variability from the outset, incorporating things like captions on video, structured documents, maybe flexible assessment options, we actually significantly reduce the need for individual retrofits later on.
So less reactive, more proactive.
Exactly. It supports every learner's success more efficiently, yes, but it also prepares them to serve a truly diverse world.
That's a really profound point about shaping professional identity. So how does this idea of designing for everyone, this universal design, how does that translate into improving learning outcomes for all students, not just those with specific documented needs? Is there a ripple effect?
Oh, there's a huge ripple effect. And this is really where Universal Design for Learning, or UDL, comes into play.
UDL, yeah.
Yeah, it's all about planning instruction with flexible goals, diverse materials, varied methods, adaptable assessments, and the research backs this up. Multiple systematic reviews of UDL in higher education, they've consistently found significant positive effects.
On what
On
exactly?
student engagement, on academic achievement. For instance, there was a systematic review and meta-analysis by Almaglide and colleagues in 2023.
Okay.
And it specifically highlighted this effectiveness. It showed how UDL-designed courses can lead to improvements in things like student retention, satisfaction, across a really diverse student body.
So it lifts everyone up.
Precisely.
Mhm.
It's a powerful approach because it recognizes learner variability as the norm, not the exception we have to accommodate later.
Right. And what about media? We use so much video and audio in health sciences teaching these days. Complex procedures, patient interviews. How does accessibility actually strengthen comprehension there and focus memory for everyone?
Oh, it's transformative,
Yeah.
honestly. Decades of research, they unequivocally show that adding same language captions and transcripts to instructional video, it dramatically improves comprehension.
Really?
Yes. It enhances attention, it boosts memory, and for a really wide range of learners. This isn't just for individuals who are deaf or hard of hearing, although obviously it's crucial for them.
Okay, so beyond that.
Think about it. Captions can reduce cognitive load for non-native English speakers. They allow students to review complex terminology silently, maybe in a library, or help learners focus in noisy environments, like a busy clinic setting.
Yeah, I can see that.
There was a study, Dom et al. In 2022, it explored the effects of captions, transcripts, reminders on learning and perceptions, and it really reinforced these findings.
Interesting.
It showed how these tools benefit everyone just by providing multiple ways to access and process the information. It leads to deeper understanding, better recall. It's often a huge aha moment for faculty when they realize that broad impact.
That is incredibly impactful. And it really shifts the mindset, doesn't it? From just accommodation to universal benefit.
Exactly.
Okay. For our health sciences faculty listening, the big question is probably, how do we actually do this?
Right, the practicalities.
Yeah. What are the practical steps we can take in our daily teaching without feeling like we have to do a complete curriculum overhaul overnight? That can feel overwhelming.
It can, absolutely.
Yeah.
But the key is to adopt that universal design approach from the outset, maybe starting small and building up.
Okay.
Practically, this means maybe starting by articulating really clear learning goals for every module, every activity.
Clear goals first.
Yeah. Once you have those clear goals, then think about offering multiple equivalent ways for students to meet them.
Equivalent ways. Okay. Like what?
Well, for instance, if the goal is to explain a medical procedure, maybe some students can demonstrate it verbally, maybe others through a written report, maybe even a narrated diagram.
Ah, okay. Different modalities.
Right.
Yeah.
You can even build variability into your rubrics, so you're focusing on the competency itself rather than demanding just one single rigid way to show it.
Focusing on the outcome, not just the format.
Exactly. And for online modules, make them predictable. Structure them with consistent headings, chunking information logically.
Consistency helps.
Definitely. Always preview weekly expectations and due dates clearly. And wherever possible, try to provide alternative formats for your content. If you have a really dense text reading, could you also offer maybe a concise audio summary or a short video explanation?
Options. Giving students options.
That's a big part of it.
That makes perfect sense for the overall course design and, the online structure. What about the everyday materials, the documents we create? Presentation slides, visuals. How do we make those genuinely accessible without needing a graphic design degree?
Right. Yeah, you don't need to be an expert. That's where some simple but really powerful habits come in.
Okay, give us some habits.
So when you're creating documents, slides, visuals, use true headings. Use the heading styles built into your software.
Not just bolding text.
Exactly. Use bulleted or numbered lists properly. Use proper table headers. This structure helps screen readers interpret everything correctly.
Got it.
Ensure your link text is meaningful. So instead of just writing click here,
Which we see all the time.
we do.
Yeah.
Describe where the link goes. Like download the patient safety checklist.
Much clearer.
Much clearer. Always check your color contrast. Make sure there's enough difference between your text and background so it's readable for everyone, including people with color vision deficiencies. And try to avoid conveying meaning only by color.
Good point. What about images?
For informative images, add alternative text, alt text, that briefly describes the image's content or purpose.
Okay.
And for charts or graphs, don't just show the chart. Describe the key data patterns or trends right there in the text beside it.
So summarize the takeaway.
Yeah. And honestly, a simple but incredibly effective tip. Run the built-in accessibility checkers.
Oh, the software has those.
Almost every modern software does. Microsoft Word, PowerPoint, Adobe Acrobat.
Yeah.
They all have one. Just run it before you post your materials.
Yeah.
They catch so many common issues. It's a great first step.
That's a really practical tip. Okay, and what about audio and video? So prevalent, especially for showing clinical skills. How do we ensure they're perceivable, understandable for all students?
Yeah, this is a critical area. For any pre-recorded videos you create or use, always provide accurate captions.
Always caption.
Always. If it's audio-only content, like maybe a podcast interview you assigned, offer a full transcript.
Transcript for audio. Makes sense.
And if you're doing demonstrations with really critical visuals, maybe showing a specific technique on a simulator, try adding brief audio descriptions of those key actions. Just narrate what you're doing visually.
Oh, interesting. Like now I'm palpating the...
Exactly. And for live sessions like a synchronous lecture or even a telehealth simulation, enable live captions if your platform supports it.
Okay.
And if you're pointing to something or sharing content on screen, remember to verbally describe that content for anyone who might not be able to see it clearly.
Good reminder for live sessions.
Yeah. And after recording, always post the media files and their transcripts or captions right next to related activities in your LMS, your learning management system.
Makes it easy to find.
Right. So learners can review efficiently
Yeah.
in the format that works best for them. And again, your LMS often has an accessibility checker to use it.
Okay, great. Now, assessments. This feels like a big one in health sciences. Clinical competency is paramount. How do we design assessments for both access and validity? How do we make sure those crucial competency targets are met without compromising rigor?
Yeah, this is often seen as one of the most challenging areas, but honestly, it can also be one of the most rewarding to apply accessible design principles to.
How so?
The goal is really to offer equivalent assessment pathways that still preserve those crucial clinical competency targets.
Equivalent pathways. What does that look like?
So, for example, if the core competency is, say, effective patient communication,
Okay.
perhaps some students demonstrate that through a traditional standardized patient interaction. But maybe another student could demonstrate it just as effectively through, say, a detailed written case study analyzing communication breakdowns, followed by a verbal explanation to a peer or instructor.
So the competency measured is the same, but the method of demonstrating it can be flexible.
Precisely. The path to demonstrating it is flexible, but the rigor and the core competency remain intact.
That's key.
And critically, include a really clear accessibility statement in your syllabus, one that proactively invites early conversations with students about their needs. Don't wait for them to come to you maybe struggling.
Be proactive.
Yes, and coordinate early and often with your institution's Students with Disabilities office, or whatever your equivalent is. They are invaluable partners in figuring out appropriate accommodations and ensuring inclusive practices.
Great advice. Okay, finally, let's talk about the really hands-on stuff. Labs, simulations, clinical environments. Accessibility here seems uniquely challenging, just given the physical nature of the dynamic environment.
You're right, it is a critical area, and it definitely requires some thoughtful planning.
So what can faculty do?
To really support access in labs, sims, and clinical settings, think about providing detailed pre-briefs.
Pre-briefs.
Yeah, outlining expectations clearly, giving descriptions of the environment layout, lighting, typical sounds, and providing comprehensive equipment lists ahead of time.
So students know what to expect.
Exactly. Share any checklists or protocols in accessible formats beforehand. Proactively identify and maybe even publicize the physical or ergonomic options available,
Like what?
like adjustable height tables, maybe specialized instruments if they exist, any communication supports available in those spaces. Be upfront about what's possible.
Okay.
And, crucially, engage in an open dialogue with the learners. Partner with them to identify task-relevant accommodations that genuinely do not alter the essential functions of the activity.
So it's a partnership.
It really has to be. It's
Yeah.
about finding creative solutions together, ensuring everyone can safely and effectively participate and meet those core learning objectives.
This has been incredibly practical and really insightful. I imagine many listeners are feeling inspired now and want to dig even deeper. Where can they go for more resources on this really important topic?
Yeah, absolutely. There are many valuable resources out there. For a broader perspective specifically on medical education, the Association of American Medical Colleges, the AAMC, offers an accessibility resource bundle that's quite comprehensive.
AAMC bundle, got it.
You might also find the Educator's Accessibility Toolkit from Accessible Campus, Ontario University, very helpful. It's got a lot of practical strategies.
Okay.
And Johns Hopkins University Center for Teaching Excellence and Innovation, they provide excellent accessibility guidelines for course materials that are really well structured and easy to digest.
Great suggestions. And from our source today, the UTHSC Teaching and Learning Center itself, I understand they have some fantastic webinars that dive into these topics even further.
They do, absolutely. Two specific webinars that come to mind mentioned in their resources are Accessibility Beyond Accommodations, that features Carrie Snyder and Federico Gomez-Juarez-Horst, both from UTHSC,
Okay.
and another one called the Neurodiversity Supportive Classroom by Teresa Hooper, who's from the University of Tennessee.
Oh, that sounds fascinating.
Yeah, both of those could be excellent starting points to expand understanding beyond just the basics and into more nuanced areas of inclusive design.
Fantastic. Wow, that was a truly insightful deep dive into creating accessible learning experiences, wasn't it? Especially thinking about it through the lens of health sciences faculty.
It really was.
It's so clear that designing for accessibility isn't just, about meeting a requirement or compliance. It's truly a fundamental aspect of effective, inclusive education.
It enriches the learning journey for all our future healthcare professionals.
Absolutely. And by extension, it profoundly benefits the diverse patients they will eventually serve. That connection is so important.
It really is.
Well, we really hope this deep dive has given you, our listeners, some powerful insights and, more importantly, some practical tips you feel ready to implement in your teaching, helping you build more inclusive and effective learning environments right from the ground up.
Yeah. Hopefully some concrete takeaways.
Definitely. If you enjoyed this exploration, please join us for other deep dives where we unpack more fascinating topics, always aiming to offer you that shortcut to being well-informed and providing those surprising aha moments.
Always aiming for the aha.
Until next time.